Hey guys, welcome back to EJAY on Topic. Today's topic, we talk about why we do the things that we do. We talk a little bit about habits, being grateful to our parents, and a little bit about morning routines. I thank you guys for watching. Please enjoy the show. By the way, there's a little bit of technical audio difficulties, 8 minutes, 10 minutes in the video, but we were actually talking about some good stuff, so just kind of bear with us a little bit. Thank you. So what we're talking about today is why we do the things that we do. I'm pretty sure a lot of people think about or like wonder, because it's interesting to see why people think it's odd to be ambitious. I think a lot of people are somewhat, when people think that people think it's weird that I'm ambitious. We're ambitious as people. Yeah. So I think it's because of their own inadequacies, or they look at us and they tell themselves that they can't do what we do. So the way that they cope with it is kind of like talked down upon us, and people think it's weird that we're ambitious. So as for you guys personally, because this is more of a personal thing, it's gonna be like an authentic conversation that we're having. Why do you guys, you guys are highly ambitious people, and that's why you guys are my friends, but why are you guys ambitious? Like what drives you, what's pushing you, and why do you do the things that you guys do?
You want to go first, buddy?
I don't know, man. Sure. It's already kind of weird that you even like have to call it like ambitious. Like I don't know. It's just like it's like a standard that I already built for myself a little bit, because of how much I just want something better
in
life.
life.
I don't know. It's like weird. Yeah, I understand how it's like super odd to look at. But at the same time, like, how is it any different than somebody trying to go to school and get a degree and work somewhere? Like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, the reason I'm ambitious, the reason I'm even worried about like trying to be better is
like, what's it personally for you? Like,
for me
personally, yeah.
I just think that there's more like than what like what I already have and what my family's had and what I learned to have. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I get it.
Like I just know that like there's so much to worry about living a regular life that like I don't want to like do that for myself. Like I'd rather just eliminate anything that's like gonna be like a burden to me. Not that I'm gonna be perfect, but I'm just gonna be like, like I appreciate what my parents built for me and my siblings and all that stuff, but it's like what's the next? What's after that?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to just be in like I don't want to be steady. Like I want something like that's like, I don't know, just it's weird to think about.
You just average, like, is it like a fear of like average, or like what do you think it is? Like,
I haven't called it a fear yet. It probably might be, is. I mean, that's why I'm so worried about it. But to me, it's like I just believe that like the desires that I have are supposed to be like fulfilled. So like the simple things,
like the desires in life.
Yeah. And then
like what would those desires be? Like, what do you mean by that?
Just like have like meaningful, like have a meaningful life. And I think I see. I think like kind of like conforming and being like average, for lack of better terms, like it's really there's a lot of terms that come with it. People can still have meaningful lives, most definitely. Yeah. But when you're trying to fulfill your own desires and you have a lot of hoops to jump through, like I feel like things get really clouded, and like that's something that I'd rather not have to deal with.
Yeah.
Or I mean, of course I'm gonna deal with it to get rid of it, but you know, like to me, it's like you're never really free until you're all that shit is off your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but from like for a more specific example, like payments to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very broad, you know, but so this is the country we live in, and this is the system that we live in, and
Mm-hmm.
we need money. Like, so like I want to get rid of that factor in my life
Mm-hmm.
by either fucking moving to the mountains and
Mm-hmm.
being a hippie,
Yeah.
which I don't know if that's a good option for me, or acquiring enough so that I don't have to worry about anything at all.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be like. Well, I mean, I don't know. At this moment, this is how I perceive it. Like, at this moment, I want to be like childlike, not childish, like childlike, carefree,
Mm-hmm.
and like just living like life with not a lot of not a lot of baggage going on.
I think that's a big thing for me too. It's
You know?
me and Graham were having this conversation before.
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy how the way that we want to live life where we don't have to worry about stuff, because coming from my family, seeing my family struggle so much growing up makes me not want to be like that and worry about like the things that we shouldn't worry about, like having to pay
Mm-hmm.
bills. Like why is money is such a thing people stress about, and
Yeah.
that's like one thing that made me want to like go on the path that I want to, because of the fact that there's so much more than just what the traditional way, like especially like being Filipino, there's a traditional way to live life, and
Yeah.
I see myself doing more, giving more, creating a future for my family so they don't have to worry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
No.
What was the question again?
Why do we do the things that we do?
I think it's just like
Specifically like as of present to our future, like why the things that we're creating right now for our future.
Well, I think it's like goes back to like your daily grind. It's like when you really think about it, like your daily grind should be something that's setting yourself up for the future. Everything you do now is for the future,
Okay.
theoretically. All the money I make now is so I can spend it in the future. All the education I get now is so I can use it to my advantage in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everything you do now is for the future, but the reasoning behind it is, I think, honestly, like, when I'm not doing shit, I get sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get stuck in my own head where it's like, fuck, why aren't I doing something?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I start thinking about it more and more and more, and it's like, it puts you in, like, this pit
Yeah.
where you just keep asking yourself, why this, why this, why this, why this, and eventually you just get to, like, this really depressed state where you're just kind of like, well, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're not doing it, when you're sitting in front of a notebook and you're trying to figure out your goals and you can't think of any goals,
Mm-hmm.
that'll put anyone in a dark spot.
Yeah.
Or it's like you don't know, because nobody wants to feel like they're not doing anything,
Yeah.
honestly.
I agree.
So I think setting goals and working towards those goals
Mm-hmm.
just puts me in a mindset that I want to be in.
Yeah, it gives you, I think having one thing that makes me do the things I do too is like what you said, like the clarity of knowing what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, and doing like it sometimes it sucks, you know. There's a lot of times, like, you know, the goals that I want to achieve and the things I want to do, it's like it's super high, it's like really like high level things, but dealing with the short term like pain and like waking up every day at 5 a.m. is not the best fucking thing, but dealing with the short term, it's a good sacrifice for the future, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, being creating these high level goals that we want to achieve, it's worth the sacrifice.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's kind of weird because it's like, it boils down to, I think, like being comfortable and uncomfortable, putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations, getting accustomed to putting yourself in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
Because people get comfortable too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like like your example, waking up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. I don't think anybody really wants to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to sleep early, but in the long run, it helps you. And I honestly think that habit in general, it changed a lot of my life. Honestly, like waking up earlier, having those few hours in the morning that just like, you can just appreciate and do whatever you want with no distraction, because rarely anybody else is awake to distract you.
Yeah.
I think it's important because very little, I found out nowadays, do we really sit down and focus on something without thinking about something else.
Yeah, I agree.
Like waking up and then sitting at your desk with your phone off with one single goal and plan has almost been a lost art. Because everything's moving so fast. It's like fucking we gotta get this shit done.
Yeah.
We gotta get everything fucking done.
Yeah.
But in reality, I think it'd be more beneficial if I had to do homework, if I was worried about my homework and not worried about my taxes while I do my homework.
Yeah.
Because it gives me that, I'm on a set track. My mind is thinking about one thing, and I can finish that one thing. I have one objective that I want to complete, not three.
Yeah. And when the things that we do, right? Like it's not just because like, hey, we think we're better than people, you know?
Yeah.
It's not, you know, like being in business or making a YouTube video, like, or doing YouTube in general, like living off of YouTube or living off of business, you know, being self-employed. I think it's more so, the norms change, like social norms change. Like the 9 to 5, like you can literally get education about anything anywhere. And having a traditional 9 to 5, sometimes, you know, just because we don't live by the conforming to the standards of conforming to the standards of what people think we should be doing, just because we do something different. It's like, it's not like, you know, and it's weird. It's like, you know, people. It's like people. It's funny because like when you start going on a different track than everyone else, you start losing relationships, and people start seeing you differently, and all these things. But like for what? Like for what reason? It's because what, like you think they think you're better than you, or what do you think? It's interesting to me, and that's why I kind of wanted to do this video, because like.
Well, does it bother you?
Yes, it does.
How?
But it doesn't necessarily. When you realize you can't necessarily do anything about it. You just start to go on the track for yourself, and then you'll lose relationships and all that shit. But
it's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
it's a very slippery slope, because as much as I'd want to push my friends to do the same thing as I do, ultimately, in the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do.
Exactly.
And
just like how you're going to do what you want to do.
Exactly. And I think it's dangerous in a sense, in the fact that I almost feel like, because I remember at a certain point when I was like kind of advancing towards helping myself a lot, heavily helping myself over hanging out with friends, or being very conscious about my time, like understanding that I have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
I spend 8 hours of those sleeping, and I got to plan for the rest of my waking hours. And a lot of my friends don't do that, and they don't understand that my day now is like structured. Like my whole day is structured to a point where I know what I'm going to be doing every hour of the day. And for people that don't normally do that, they live their lives day to day. They live their days day to day. And when they feel like they want to go out and hang out with their friends, they feel like they'll go out and hang out with their friends, versus someone with a more structured schedule would have certain time planned out for that. So I think a lot of the time management, it doesn't interconnect. Like the times I want to spend with my friends sometimes doesn't match up with the time that they have. For example, like mainly being later at night.
Yeah.
People are always hanging out later at night.
Yeah.
People are hanging out like
I get that.
12, 1 a.m.
Yeah, I
3
preferably would like want to hang out like
and
morning
I'm like,
to afternoon.
Let's get lunch.
Like I preferably would like want to hang out like in the morning because like I think
exactly.
having a good like because when I wake up and then like I do my morning stuff, my morning routine, and like it's around like 8 or 9, I'm like. I'm feeling good. I'm like, yo, let's go do shit. That's why like I call you guys. I'm like, dude, I was like, hey, but
for real.
But I don't know, it's different because people, we're all young. A lot of people that we know, and a lot of people, and everyone our age, being 21 years old, 22, 23. It's they don't they're worried about separate things like oh, we should have so much fun right now because we're young. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's not. For me, I think when you realize that you're doing the same thing every single night for like the last 3 years. That was what it was for me. I was doing the same shit every single night for 3 years. That's 3 years, dude. Partying, drinking, smoking, all that shit. When you realize that, it's like, wait, is this all life has to be? You start questioning yourself.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy too because it's like it's so hard for people to understand that like I want to live a different lifestyle from other people. Like, honestly, quite frankly, I think waking up early in the morning is just amazing, but other people can't realize that it's different. Or it's honestly, it shouldn't even be different. It's like this is the norm. People wake up early, people go to work, people come home, people do what they want to do. Yeah. And I feel like developing those habits earlier will really cushion later on when it's like, oh, should I go out tonight even though I have work at 6 a.m.? Or should I stay home? Yeah. And practicing that decision-making skill while our age, where a lot of opportunities are presented to go out earlier, I feel like really will be more beneficial for our future because... Quite frankly, as much as I'd want to go out at 3 a.m. when I have work at 6 a.m. the next day, I know in the end of things now, because I've been on both ends of the spectrums, I'll be more happier if I sleep. For sure. Yeah. Because waking up with 3 hours of sleep, like thinking back at high school, I was talking to this with one of my other friends. Thinking about back in high school, I have no idea how I could run on 2 hours of sleep for multiple days consecutively.
Right?
Like how? If I don't get like 6 hours of sleep a night now, I'm like, oh my god, can I even make it through the day? I need to drink like 4 cups of coffee.
I go home around like 5 a.m. and I would have work at like 10 a.m.
Oh, dude,
no, we would. I think just last year we would like run a game until like 7.
Yeah, like we're playing video. Yeah, right. And it's like crazy.
I'm like, oh, I work in the afternoon.
So whatever.
It's like what? Like how could a human possibly run on 2 hours of sleep for like 3 days straight? It doesn't even make any sense.
You don't think about that though when you're like enjoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you're like go into a thing.
It's fun. I think it's fun at a time being, but when I think when you have too much fun and like you keep doing it and keep doing it and doing it, at one point you're gonna have to sacrifice the fun just because you wanted to have fun, if that makes sense. Because like you do it for like years, like for me, I was like doing it for like 3 years ever since I got out of high school. And it's like insane to see how much like I would go every single night. Yeah. And then like it got to the point where like, oh my god, like I'm having so much fun, and then something happens and they're like, wow, dude, I'm just like like wow, I was just trying to have fun, and then you have to sacrifice a lot of things just because you're trying to have fun. Yeah.
What's your favorite part of your morning routine?
What's my favorite part?
I feel like your morning routine gives you a hard on.
It does.
What's your favorite part?
My probably taking a cold shower.
Oof.
Oh, you're fucking psycho. You're a psycho.
Like I did it this morning, dude.
That's raw.
It fucking, dude. I get so lightheaded. It's insane.
Oh, what the fuck?
Like, cause it's like, cause your body doesn't know how to react. So the chemical of like the adrenaline rush is like pumping. Cause you're like,
you're in like survival mode.
yeah,
How
dude.
old is
You go. It's my.
Are you literally just like?
No, like, but dude, I look at the thing. And I'm like,
Is that safe?
no, it's fine. It's fine.
You're not gonna die.
You're not gonna
Yeah,
die.
but why like?
You're not
No,
gonna.
you'll be fine.
Something be wrong.
No,
like
it's
if
not-
I stay in there, how long does it last? You stay in there for like 10 minutes?
2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes.
It's not like where you're actually outside when it's like over temperature.
How do
I
you-
mean,
I did it outside too. It's pretty
Dude,
nuts.
I would be so.
What? So it's crazy because been doing it for the last like 3 months now. I don't know. How long has it been? It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I started doing it, but so it's uncomfortable, right? So what it does is it's crazy because you'll start putting yourself into like more uncomfortable situations outside of life because you flinch forward to doing the things that you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's like
instead of
training.
just like hesitating. So every time you turn that knob, you don't even think about it. It's like literally just like you're like.
Are you in there and then you turn on, or do you like turn on?
I'm literally I after I'm done taking my shower and washing myself, doing my hair and all that stuff. While I'm showering, before I don't even think about it. It's like I literally, dude. I'll like turn like the way what I do is like I'll turn around. I'll turn around like my back is faced towards the shower head, and I'm like, okay, and I turn around and like fuck, I turn it, and then like I start breathing in and breathing out because like because you'll start feeling it through your body. You'll feel your body going to like your body's like what the fuck is happening, but yeah, it kind of like transfers over to like different things, like when you're talking to people or when you have to like prospect someone or you have to do some shit. But yeah, it's crazy because it's super uncomfortable.
Yeah, so all it is like getting you like used to being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So you can instead of like, oh hold on, you just kind of like fucking go in it.
Yeah, no, you literally just do it.
That's
Try it, dude.
I've only tried it a few times. It's like
yeah, I've done it a couple times.
it's crazy. I've done it once it started getting cold.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I felt like I was gonna die.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like,
I was like flexing so hard. I was like,
Yeah, dude, breathe in and breathe out when you're
yeah.
you're like if you're able to control your breath within it, you'll be able to control like a lot of things. It's insane.
You're not gonna die. You're not like outside.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Freezing temperature.
that's like
You're just cold.
It's so uncomfortable. But yeah, that's my
Do
favorite
you
part.
take a warm shower after, or is it just
No,
like cold?
you
done?
just get out. After that, I'm usually showering in warm water, like lukewarm water, and then
and then you turn at the end.
at the end of my shower, usually I do it.
I'm just
I used
jumping
to-
in the pool.
I should actually do that. Like I heard it somewhere. I think it was like, I think my girlfriend told me about it. Like when you like wash your hair or after you shower, like do a cold, make it cold real quick so that your pores can close.
Yeah, I used to do it with just my face. I would
Yeah.
turn it really cold, the shower really cold, and I'm done.
Yeah, and then, like,
put
I'm
my
like-
face in because I wanted to close up my nose pores.
Yeah, it's
but I'll do it for like 2 seconds. Not, like,
Yeah, yeah. I'm like,
Okay.
all right, that's enough.
it's a lot of like mental. It's like that's some mental. Like it's crazy how
that's like a mental exercise.
disciplined
It's kinda
you. But what's your favorite morning
What's your
routine?
favorite?
Coffee.
cool. Checking out.
Coffee's good. Yeah,
Coffee. Dude.
Check the coffee.
that's actually one of my.
Coffee.
Hey, yo, look at this app.
like what coffee like does to you.
No, I just like making it. Can I switch to the pour over?
Look at this app. Look at this.
What is that?
Gotta-
Oh, is that the
Gotta build up my character,
Oh,
bro.
you haven't showed Grant this yet?
What is that?
You haven't showed Grant? It's kind of like a level
What is
up.
this?
It's like Nick
It's,
habits.
it's my
level
habitica, bro.
up. Habitica.
Habitica?
Not sponsored.
What is it?
Sponsor me, please.
It's you make habits, and then whenever you achieve them, you level up.
Huh.
Habitica.
See this, guys?
Get yours now. It's cool though. I mean,
That is pretty cool.
I haven't tried it.
I need to add more shit to my phone.
If you guys decide to get it, it's you create habits for yourself, and you hit plus or minus depending on what you did for the day, and then it'll level up your character so you can get more gear.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's pretty crazy.
It's kind of cool. Like,
let's talk habits then. We might as well talk habits.
Yeah, dude. If you want to talk habits, bro.
Yeah, bro. What's your level 1 habit?
Yeah. Well, I think like the structure of creating a habit. There's two ways to think about it, in my opinion. Where it's like, I think I've talked to you about this actually. Where it's hard to create a habit when you don't want to make the habit. There has to be some sort of justification behind you wanting to create that habit, or else honestly, I think it'll ultimately fail.
Dude, you know what? Sometimes though, like, we all know the right answer to things, so we'll create habits through it. But I feel like for me, it never stuck because I have no, like, I have a belief of like, I want to get better, and this is the right thing to do. But then like, when it comes down to it, if it doesn't mean anything, like it never lasted with me. It kind of sucks. 'Cause, like, I'm like, fuck. Like
I think we've all been to the point where we tried to wake up early at some point in our lives, in like high school or whatever, and then it ultimately failed because I don't think there was a proper reasoning behind it. For example, like
well, there wasn't.
I'd wake up early, but then I'd be like, well, what the hell do I do now? It's 5:30 a.m., but I got nothing to do. So ultimately, it didn't stick because it wasn't a conscious decision. Like, okay, I'm gonna wake up early so then I can get those 2 hours.
You know what helped me? Creating low effort tasks first.
Yeah.
So like doing the really little things leading up to the big things. Yeah. Like for me, if I wouldn't want to get up and go shower, because the first thing I would do is like, okay, just drink water at least. Yeah. Like drink water at least. So I think if you're having trouble creating habits for yourself,
hold on. One second. I'm afraid me touching this cord is gonna make noise.
It's been good so far.
Nice.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, creating low effort tasks for like say you have your morning routine, right? Like you have everything structured out or whatever. This is the first thing you do. Say if you don't want to do that first thing, do the least effort task first, and then
like relating to it, or
just whatever. Like for me,
easiest thing.
Yeah, the easiest thing to do. Like if you don't want to read, at least read a page. Like creating those little low effort tasks.
I see. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The reason, like, God, it's so crazy. Even I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I even watched the podcast and read about it. Like, where they talk about when you're trying to tackle things like this, you can't just make a complete change in your life and expect to like have it stick to you. You know, especially when it was never something you ever done before. Yeah. So even, but I think the reason, God, it's so weird to me because I always it's like my default to like, I want to make a big change. Yeah. And it's like almost always like detrimental because nothing.
Yeah, cause it can be stressful.
Yeah. It's stressful. Yeah.
And if you don't accomplish the habit, so to say, then it makes you feel like shit.
It's discouraging.
Yeah. That's why like doing like the smallest things in your morning is what's gonna get you to do the big things.
I think too, it's like a big mixture of emotions when I'm trying to be like, I need to make a big change now, because like one of them is like I'm stressed because I'm like not doing what I think I'm supposed to do, and then another is like I'm motivated to make this change for this moment. And then like, so like it's like a mixture of like those like negative and positive emotions, and then that's what makes me like want to make that leap, but then that's what it makes me like conclude like, okay, so I'm stressed out because I'm here, and I want to be there, and so like I watch something and I'm like, okay, so that's something I can do, and then I make a change, and then I do it for like a week, and then like something happens and I'm like, it's like gone. I'm back on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think going back to that, like, how to build a successful habit. The biggest game changer to me was, like, understanding why I wanted to build that habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before I would try to build habits, but I'd just be like, well, waking up early is good. Well, going to sleep early is good. Eating healthy is good. But what's the real reason why I'm eating healthy for? Do I want to live a healthier lifestyle? Do I want to put on some weight? Do I want to lose weight? And I think when you figure out that, when it's something you really want, you're going to chase it. And you really are going to develop a better habit when it's actually something that you really want. And I think it's really beneficial to focus on the things that you really want to change versus things that you think would be better for you to change. Like as much as waking up early is good, a habit that you might want to develop before waking up early is developing a schedule. Because when you develop your schedule, you're very time conscious. You understand what your day is going to look like.
Yeah.
And then when you get in the groove of that, you further understand that, oh, if I sleep earlier and wake up earlier, I'm gonna have more time in my more productive time in my day.
Yeah.
So I think really understanding that, having that foreknowledge on why you're creating that habit or why you're doing this or why you're doing that is really important to creating good, sustainable habits.
Yes.
It kind of makes me think about the app you have.
Because you can't like, I like this app because you can't track the numbers, like there's no number system for your habit creation. So it's cool to see have that app because it feels good. Like it's like, because we play video games a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, look at me, I'm gonna raise my cortisol plus. And it's like it's cool to see. It's more tangible in a sense. If life was a video game, then like I'd fucking win. I don't give a fuck. I'd be like, oh, there you go. Like that'd be crazy. But it's cool because you kind of get to see if habit was a point system.
Yeah.
Then it's good, and it makes you feel good.
Well,
of course.
that's kind of like what he said. I think the point system is like you understand what it is and you get satisfied because you do it.
Yeah.
Dopamine.
Like, and then cha-ching, that's your fucking little ding. That's your star. That's your prestige, motherfucker. Like
it's kind of a sense with So say you get a text message. So when you get a text message, it's a dopamine hit, and it's like the same kind of thing here. The more I add points to my health and mana and my gear, to say if I one of the hardest things to do is exercise. So my exercise thing is like do push-ups and sit-ups, and that's like that gives me the most XP. So so it gives me that it gives me that dopamine. I'm like, did it. But it's cool because you can rate the habits based off of what's the hardest hard and weak. So like drinking water would be like a really like low XP gain because it's easy to do. Yeah. And the hardest ones would be higher XP.
Working out and stuff like that.
Yeah. Interesting. I should look into that.
Trying to get my gear up, bro.
It sounds fun. It's just fun.
Trying to get my gear up, bro. I think getting praise and like giving a dopamine. I think that's more a sense of acknowledgement. I don't know if acknowledgement gives you a dopamine hit. Do you know? Would you know? I don't fucking know. But
I assume it's whenever you're feeling good.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're
there's different types of happy chemicals. Dopamine, was it dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin? But I don't know. I think when you're acknowledged by someone, I think that's more of like a human, like that's kind of a human need.
Yeah.
Because when you get acknowledged by someone, or someone acknowledges you, or someone acknowledges your work, or whatever you're doing, it feels good because it's that we're social creatures. So being acknowledged is one of the things that we need most.
So does that feeling good make you want to do more, or does it just kind of like make you satisfied? I guess what I'm asking is,
I think that's like dependent on like your goal. Like Like I wouldn't know. Like
I think it's very subjective because like for someone like me, I don't really feed off of other people's like kind of input in what I do. Not to say that
it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, not to say it doesn't mean anything, but I think I look at it in a standpoint of feedback more than my personal
of course.
emotion, and I guess it's really subjective to the whatever you're doing. Like, for example, if it's a YouTube video and comments are like almost a dime a dozen,
Yeah.
you almost have to take it as feedback over whatever else you may be taking it as. Because it's like, that's the only beneficial way you're going to be able to look at it, because it's such a mixed thought and you don't know who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. But if it's like my parents coming up to me and being like, oh, I'm really proud of the person you're becoming, it's a lot different. Versus the positive feedback I may get back on like
from like
a video,
like a friend or something,
from a friend or something, because it's someone I really care about, and I think it really depends on who's telling you what and what they're telling you. Because if they're like, oh yeah, that's a nice breakfast you cooked, versus oh yeah, that scientific study you did really helped a lot of people.
Yeah. What was the question? What was like she trying to like get at?
No,
like,
it was
you know,
me. It was like I was thinking about this thing that I heard about where you take positivity, like the whoop.
Okay.
The whoop lady.
Wish, outcome, obstacle.
Yeah, no, but before that, the problem was, and I think this is what I still have, because like I'm still unclear about like what I'm trying to do, is like the positivity that I get from some of the things that people say about the stuff that I do is like it's
you don't believe it.
No, I do believe it, and I think I believe it too much sometimes. It's the problem.
Oh, you believe it too much.
Yeah, I'm like, you get comfortable and like, oh, I can do this, and then at the end of the day, like I kind of take it like I take it
Oh, like you think it's
it's
good enough. Yeah.
I make a meaning of it so much that the next thing I do is just a parody of what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it puts me in a really weird place.
I think
I don't know.
I think that's where the objective of like goal setting comes from.
Yeah.
Because when I set goals, I'll write them down and then I'll look at the goal and I'll be like, okay, this at the end of the day, this is what I'm working towards. And no matter what anybody tells me, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And I think when you do that, it's beneficial to what you're saying, because it's like, no matter what people are telling me, whether it's good or bad, at the end of the day, I'm working towards this one goal.
I see.
And how I get from point A to point B shouldn't really change. It should be definitive. How I get from this to this. So that really kind of dictates how I view the outside influences when it comes to that kind of thing.
I see. Maybe I think it's because the way I'm seeing what I'm working towards is a little broad still. So like I spread myself out too thin with the things that I want to make. So like whenever I get a praise in one aspect of it, I try to do it again. It just becomes like a weird copy of it.
Yeah, that might actually be good.
I mean, that's
sometimes.
But no, what I'm getting was like what you said really good was like, if I had a goal, like what anybody ever would say to me is it's like literally just feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like a weird thing that I've had like growing up, because like I was the firstborn.
Yeah.
So dude, I was getting all the shit. Like not the bad shit, like the good shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was like getting all the like the praise and the especially more specifically in school. That's what made me super comfortable in school. Like I was just like, people expect greatness and it comes naturally, so I just don't do shit.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of made me like almost fail senior year, is because I was just comfortable the whole time. And then when I took harder classes, I was like, oh, what the fuck? I gotta work now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like a weird like thing that like I'm trying to decipher for myself. It's because I think it roots back to a lot. Now that I'm looking at it and the way I was discussing.
No, it's interesting. Yeah.
It isn't.
Super interesting. Yeah.
Because like it's I don't know. It just feels weird because I do get stuff done, and then.
What do you mean by like parody? Like, what do you mean by that? Like I don't understand.
I don't know. Like I make this really cool looking drawing. People will praise it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, they think it's cool. So I try to redo it in a different like something else.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm just trying to recreate that drawing in a different way because people praise me for it. But you know, but what that original drawing had was me pouring my shit to it, you know, and then I don't know.
I understand.
You know what I
you're
mean?
trying to say.
Yeah,
Like,
I get it.
Even though like sometimes it'll come out good, like it wasn't from me. It was like from what
You're
that
doing
was.
it for them.
Yeah, it was.
more
It was.
so.
It was what that got.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I understand because it's like, is it like you'll draw something? An example in art, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You draw something, and then you get really positive feedback on that drawing,
Mm-hmm.
and then going, okay, instead of drawing something else that I might really want to draw and I know might really, really work,
Yeah.
this got really good feedback, so I might as well just play it safe.
keep doing it again.
Yeah.
To just
and I
keep
do it
doing
again.
it. Just keep doing it until
Yeah,
it
dude,
fails.
and then like it gave me like a false sense of like
Well, maybe
achievement, you know?
is it because you crave the acknowledgement from others? Is that something that
I don't
you
know. I
Mhm.
don't know if I do. I
Uh-huh.
mean, like, I respond well to it, I guess.
Mhm.
But it's like, to me, it's like the stuff that people praise is the stuff I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it can go wrong in a lot of ways,
I see.
depending on who tells me what, you know?
Yeah. Remember we had this conversation like on like what was it number 3? You know, topic number 3.
Yeah.
You're like oh I just started doing it for myself and shit.
Yeah, and then that's
Yeah.
what made me happy. Like,
Yeah.
like you know, that's why I haven't posted like a Naruto drawing because
Yeah.
like I don't know if I like doing it.
Do it anymore.
It's fun though.
It's cool.
But-
It's cool to see.
You know, I like those other things that I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to draw. So like I'm in a weird space in like my art again.
Creating.
Yeah, because even though I'm doing the stuff that I want to do, and I think I even lied to myself in saying that I liked Naruto stuff because I was still confused. I mean, I did like the first
Uh-huh.
ones that I made, and
I mean, yeah, I kind of think that too. With
Yeah.
like my social media page, for example, when I started posting things that people like to see, so like pictures of me and Kim, people like to see that shit.
Mhm.
But I didn't necessarily like want to keep posting pictures of me and Kim because like you know it got more likes and then you know the
Yeah.
dopamine hits there and then yeah. But
I think
No, yeah, I get what you're coming from because it's like, as a content creator, that's something I think everybody struggles with. It's like you're in a constant imbalance between, do I really even like doing what I'm doing, or do I like what I'm doing, or do I like the success from what I'm doing? I think it breaks down to that because
that's a very
like
good
that's the
insight.
point where
Well,
I was at with
I'm-
video games. Was I figured out I didn't like playing video games. I liked winning.
Exactly.
Because it didn't matter what game I played. If I could win at the game, I was like, yeah, this game's fucking awesome. I was like, yeah, all right.
Dude, that's why the first time you hop on games, the campaign is fun.
Yeah.
Because you can set it to
Yeah,
normal.
exactly.
You can just kill it.
So I think, but that came out of a very hard lesson.
Yeah.
That came out of
I think I'm like
that came out of
right
like
now.
fucking 20,000 hours of playing video games for me to finally realize that.
The fuck did
You know what I
play,
mean?
bro?
Between like League and Counter, like, because like Steam, it'll tell you how many hours you put in a game.
Mhm.
And Counter Strike alone was 10,000.
Damn.
And then I was like, I don't even want to know how much. I'm just gonna kind of round my League to 10,000.
Do you understand how
That's a
much time
lot
that is,
of
bro?
Fucking time. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, like for me, when I do something, I expect to be like the best at it,
No,
Yeah.
and if I don't get
yeah.
the best at it, I quit.
Exactly.
And that's like one of the things. That's a self-destructive behaviors that I have.
Yeah.
But for me, that's just like that's like what I do. So like, I keep. No matter if I don't like it or not, I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck it, I'm gonna be the best, and like I'll go through anything. I'll go through like the trials and tribulations, the adversity, just so I can be the best, so I can be at the top and be like, ah, like just scream down at people. Like, that's what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
you fucking suck, all of you.
I almost played it for like the social ladder aspect of the game versus playing that, because I remember playing, I'm sure everyone's been there, where they're playing a game and they come to a point where they're just mad. They're not even like happy 90% of the time playing a game.
I think it's power, like the sense of like being powerful.
Yeah.
You know, because like when I think about like that's what it was for me. I liked being powerful. I liked being the one. Like I liked being the A player.
Your name was Powerhouse.
A powerhouse. But yeah, no, I think it's power. You know, that's for me it was like power. I was like I like being fucking top dog. Like fuck all you. But yeah. That's why I probably.
I remember we even talked about this because at a certain point he was like kind of messing with you.
Yeah.
Like trying to be top.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, because I'd come out of a fucking like a League game or a Counter-Strike game and I'd be all pissed.
Yeah.
And then I'd be pissed at people around me even though they had nothing to do with the video game.
Like slamming on the keyboard.
Yeah, it makes it like make no sense because I'd sit down and be like, why am I even mad? I'd be like, wow, like
because you didn't get a gank, bro.
No, but really though, like I'd be like all pissed off and shit throughout the rest of my day.
Someone KS'd you, bro.
All because I lost the game of League, like.
Yeah, it gets really weird then.
Like I think people really should take a step back and look at the arbitrary value in everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, me spend that amount of hours on a vid, even like one anything is unhealthy. To be completely honest.
Yeah, no, I get
And
it.
all for what? All for the lesson that I know that I don't like playing video games. I like succeeding.
Yeah.
Took me 20,000 hours of my life to figure out.
Dude, I know.
Think about how crazy that is.
No, it's crazy because I thought when I was playing Call of Duty a lot, I thought, how many days did I have on there? It was like 12 days played, like straight, and I'm like, and I was like, what the fuck? Like that amount of time I played, but you know, I played for 8 months straight, so that's a lot of time. But it's fucking crazy.
It's crazy. It's insane. I think like,
Bro, what the fuck?
but I think now what I learned from that is you can break down emotion to a science.
Mm-hmm.
This was my breakthrough.
Most definitely.
Where it was like, okay, I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to test things out to see, oh, do I want to, maybe I'll like this. And I waste 10 hours thinking, I'm like, whatever, 10 hours of my life, whatever.
Yeah.
20 hours of my life, whatever. Just trying things.
Trying
right?
what?
Like, for example, like, if I wanted, like basketball. I don't fucking like I don't play basketball.
You're tall though.
But I'm like, dude, this sucks. I don't like this.
He's standing under the hoop.
Yeah.
When we were in high school, he'd like stand under the hoop, and people just passing the ball. He'd be like,
But it's like I didn't have fun playing basketball, but I tried it and I was like, wow, this sucks. But then you realize there's a certain point in your life where you're like, this is like science. This isn't go try it, see if you like it.
genetically,
You like
you're
it or
good
you
at the
don't
game.
like
Like, you know, like genetically, like you're 6'3", just like putting balls in a freaking basket. You probably thought it was just like whatever, this is stupid.
But it's like when you break it down to a science and you understand that happiness, you control your happiness.
Uh-huh.
You control your sadness. You control a lot. You control your emotion. Emotion isn't something. I mean, emotion can't come from an outside source, but a lot of the time you can control your emotion, and it's almost like a practice.
Yeah,
like when I get frustrated and I get mad.
Yeah, you can't necessarily, like, your emotions are gonna come no matter what. It's a matter of how you react upon the emotion, you know? Because like if someone pisses you off, you can't just be like, hey, I'm not mad, you know? Yeah. So like, I think it's a matter of like, here's your emotion. What are you gonna do with the emotion? Like are you gonna put it into a positive sense, or you can put it in a negative sense? You know how when like your girlfriend will get you mad, and you blow up at her, you know, and then you don't know what the fuck you said to her because you're pissed. But I think what you're trying to say is more so like controlling how you react to it.
That's what it is though. You can't control how you feel, like we talked about. But the stuff you do after the stuff you do after you get the emotion is like, it's kind of like what dictates like how much like control you really have.
Yeah, because emotions come and go, but
even more so towards happiness. It's like
happiness. That's a good one.
That's what I was asking.
You dictate the amount of happiness you get throughout a day.
Yeah.
And as much as you'd love to be happy the entire day, your body can't handle that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So you gotta understand. So people
so
have to
happy I
understand
passed
that,
out,
like, that, like, you gotta choose certain days in the days, like, choose a certain point in the days where you're being happy almost.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe it's not like that direct.
Which
like,
goes back
I'm
to
gonna be
habits.
happy like this, happy like this. It's, I'm gonna do what I love here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, from 12 to 2, I'm gonna take that time out of my day to do what I really enjoy, which is like, whether it be photography or videography or playing video games or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But understanding that you shouldn't be seeking happiness 24 hours of the freaking day. If it comes, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, if you really, truly, genuinely love what you're doing at work, you truly love what you're doing at work. You can't really help that.
Yeah.
But I think understanding that playing video games is like, you got to control that shit. You got to control what you're getting. As much, like, even when it comes to something you love, you still got to control.
There's a cap on it.
Yeah.
There's a cap, like alcohol or smoking weed.
Yeah.
If you drink too much alcohol, even though it makes you feel good, you get fucked up. Like you don't know what the fuck happened.
Repercussions.
Yeah, there's
so
repercussions.
being happy 24/7, like 24 hours a day. If I'm happy all the time, my highs aren't gonna be as high, and my lows are gonna be extra low.
Yeah, the chemical like it's kind of like when you build a tolerance to the like tolerance to it in a sense. Yeah.
Like, for example, for me,
That's interesting to think about.
my first hit of happiness essentially is like the coffee.
Yeah.
I got really into coffee, and then just doing that, just making my coffee in the morning, I'm good. I'm happy. I start my day off right because I'm doing something that I really enjoy, which is making a really good cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So then I don't crave this happy, like, I don't crave having to play video games because I'm content making my coffee.
You're already satisfied.
Yeah, exactly. I'm satisfied with the happiness that I got from making this cup of coffee, and I can go do my daily grind. I can go to work happy.
Yeah. So you started replacing those habits like with better habits that actually benefit you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like, I could just go on my computer in the morning
Yeah.
and play 30 minutes of video games and then go into work.
Yeah, no,
But that's not really beneficial.
Yeah, I get it.
It would get you like almost the same thing, but I mean, like, might as well go the extra step and like have a.
I can do something.
Yeah,
I can get the same amount of happiness from something that's productive and effective in my day.
That's where you have to like figure out what. Okay, when you start really taking consideration of how your day is going, and when you start taking consideration of how your day's going,
I'm getting called.
you figure out, okay, where's my time going to, and how does this benefit me? Is this making my life better? Is this you know? But I think you have to take that in consideration.
You know what I want to do when I get my own house?
What do you want to do when you get your own house?
I want to install a urinal in the bathroom.
Why?
Because it's such a waste of water to flush a
Bro,
toilet.
you might as
every
well
time
just
you
pee
pee.
in the sink.
But
get an extra sink and just have it really low.
So urinal.
We can get that Japanese thing on the floor. It's like a hole in the floor.
I'm American, man. I don't want that fucking. Anyway, what were we talking about?
This podcast just turned into something I have no idea. But it's fun like this though.
We're talking about happiness.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was having a conversation with my grandpa about happiness, and it's funny because he's like 73 now, and remember I was telling you about this. It's crazy how he's like 73, and
He's like
the amount of like things he had to go through to figure out what happiness is like baffling. That's why like I'm so fortunate to be like fortunate to live in a time and era that we live now, because of the fact that we're exposed to so much, and we, you know, like if you were to Google happiness, they'll tell you how to like be happy. It's like all just based on you. But it was crazy to talk to him, and he was like talking about how it's not the money, it's not the things, it's not your position or whatever the hell it is, or you know, it's literally the people and giving. My grandpa gets like $2,000 a month from because he used to be in the Navy, and he just that money he has he literally gives it away. Like when he was in the Philippines and Vietnam, because he was just in Vietnam and Thailand, and the amount of like he just gives the money away. It's insane because he doesn't need it. He's just like I don't know what, I don't know do. I already did everything I needed to do.
Yeah.
So now he's just like going wherever and just like
It's kind of cool though.
Yeah, dude, it's like crazy. But then I think it's interesting to see see that development.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like the level that he's talking at, I'm able to comprehend that what he's talking about, and it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it makes you super like appreciative.
Yeah, dude.
Of the kind of setup that we all have
Mm-hmm.
with our parents and the information that we're exposed to. We can like there's like no excuse to be like.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think on top of that, it's like we live in a day and age where we value our emotional self and our spiritual self more than any other era, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude, we're a bunch of hippies.
Like,
yeah, we're a bunch of fucking hippies. Like, there's a whole generation of hipsters that don't even know it. That's good though because it's genuine,
That's fine. I mean,
I think it's good because we're heading towards a place where you don't want to work a 9 to 5. You want to do, and it's kind of weird because people are like, you don't want to work a 9 to 5. You want to do what you want to do.
mm-hmm.
But I think there are some people that do enjoy that 9 to 5.
Yeah,
Not like because
yeah.
exploring creativity isn't something that everyone likes doing. As hard as it is for me to like accept that fact, there are people that get enjoyment out of just stability.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like really people that come from like really, really troubled households in terms of like economic states, like they grew up very, very poor.
A lot of immigrants.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of immigrants. They take value in just the aspect of, okay, I can chill, I can have a really nice time with my family.
Yeah.
I just have to take a couple hours out of my day, like 9 to 5. I take those hours out of my day, and then I can support my family, and then my kids can do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're happy about that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like kind of we're heading towards a place where that's almost like looked down upon.
Almost.
Like
Almost.
you work a 9, you like working a 9. That's what your life entails. But it's like there's nothing wrong with that.
But what I like though, like he said, we're all turning into a bunch of hippies. No,
you're...
but in a good way. It's just like a fucking weird way to say it. But like, even though some people work a 9 to 5, like the narrative that I'm seeing more is like, that as long as it's like meaningful to you what you're doing, like it's okay.
That's all that matters.
And I mean it has to do a lot with like perspective, like you said, like coming from like an impoverished state, especially for a lot of like our parents that didn't have much, early on, or at least when it was most important to them, like having just enough is like fucking amazing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see that, and I want to build on top of it.
I think a lot of people don't, like, kids our age don't realize that how much sacrifice was so much sacrifice. My mom and dad, my grandpa, all of my friends, you guys' moms and dads sacrificed so much, and it's hard to see a lot of people taking that for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insane how far they've come without, like, seeing my mom and dad come so far without the technology and shit that they had back in the days.
Yeah.
And it's insane how much sacrifice they made for us. But, like Grant was talking about, it's like they come from like a time of war,
Yeah.
And it's like crazy to see,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see that because it's like, it's almost like, wow, like
that's
like shit.
Like that's kind of what keeps me on my toes a little more. Like if I don't know what the hell's going on, at least I know that, like, at the end of the day, I want to do something because my family did so much for me. That's why I say, like, that's kind of like you know,
You just want them to be okay.
I want them to be okay, but like, you know, I saw what they built for themselves and what they built for me and my brothers and all that. Like now I want to be like, now I want to top it so that I can like give back to them more.
Yeah.
Like give them more, like, you know, like not, you know, taking so much meaning into the materialistic side of things, but a better house would be nice for my parents to retire in. Like a nicer, reliable car would be nice for my parents to drive in. You know, 24-hour care when they're old would be really fucking nice. It's stuff like that. Yeah. That's kind of like why, I mean, to me, that's pretty general, but at the same time, that's what kind of keeps me on my toes. That's what kind of keeps me always bothered about being something, is because I know that I have to do it for people.
Yeah, it's insane because it's kind of like goes back to like why we did the video, like why we do the things that we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the amount of like, it's just when I just have to clean my house. Like, do you know how insane that is? like what my parents expect of me is just, hey, clean the house and then just do what you're supposed to, and then look, you can fucking live in this house, and like and that's it. And I'm like, this is fucking insane. But then like, it's hard to see like a lot of our peers in general. It's like you guys don't appreciate that. You know, they don't appreciate the fact that this is all they ask from you.
Yeah.
So just do it. But then they don't want to do it. You know, like, you know. And when I was younger, I always hated doing chores. Yeah. I always hated vacuuming and like wiping the windows because it was stupid. But then now I have pride in this house, because if I didn't have this house, or if I didn't do the things I would do, then I would have probably been in a whole different situation. So, you know, like cleaning my house and like, you know, just doing like little things like putting the dishes away or like vacuuming or.
I think I think like where the big game changer, like the switch that clicks when I started realizing like, oh, I should be doing this shit, is when I realized that I'm not necessarily cleaning the house for a clean house. I'm cleaning the house to relieve stress from my parents.
Yeah.
It's not just wash the dishes and mop the floor so we can have a clean house.
Everything needs to be immaculate.
Yeah, it's like
no, yeah.
Clean the house so your parents know that that you understand that there's shit that you got to do for them to alleviate some stress, and that you're an obedient, responsible child. Yeah. Because if you can't take 10 minutes out of the day to mop the floors in your house, things in the future are gonna get real bumpy real fast.
Dude, it's so crazy. I was literally. Oh, your camera died. Is that it?
We can keep going.
We can just use these two.
You still have these two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you know, it's crazy how you bring that up, because I was having that conversation with my Lolo when he first flew in, and he was like talking about cleaning the house, and he was saying, he was like, you don't clean for yourself. You're not just cleaning because you're cleaning for yourself. You're cleaning because it makes everyone feel better. Yeah. Like, you know, you like kind of like declutter your mind, and you can work more efficiently, and everyone just feels good. It just feels good to have a clean house.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny how you bring that up. You know,
it teaches you a lot of accountability too. As you know, as a member of the fucking family, like you have your part to fulfill.
To do, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good lesson, and that's why I think it's hard to appreciate. Not it's hard to appreciate, but I see why it's hard for some people to see it, because, you know, some of us have it really well and are treated very easily by our parents. But that's why, like, it's kind of good to learn that early, to learn about their sacrifices early, and to learn about accountability early, so that, you know, like later on you have a better direction of where you're going. Yeah. Like, because it's kind of weird for someone to just, even if it's your parents, especially if it's your parents, like, just for them to tell you what to do, like go to college and have a good career because we said so. It's not. It's not because they said so. It's because, like, this is what they made for you. Like, this is why
we're here. Yeah.
This is why they busted their ass to come here, get this house and whatever else, and get you your first car and whatever else. Like, it's not. it's such a that's a weird threshold to cross, and it's a really cool.
Yeah,
one.
especially if being an immigrant, you know, like
Yeah.
coming from like my mom's an immigrant, and then my grandma and grandpa are immigrants too, and it's like, dude, like they came to America so the generations after them could live a sustainable life where they're happy.
That's what blows my mind.
They don't expect much. They just want you guys, like the family and everyone, to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's insane how much sacrifice, you know.
Is.
And it's crazy because like it's taken for granted so much.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't change and when people don't change their perspective on it, then, you know, they lead a life of like discontentment and like unhappiness,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know how to give because they're always taking, you know.
Yeah.
And the more that you take, you know, the more the more greedy you become. That's why, like, when you see people like people are greedy. A lot of people are greedy, and like that's why like they're so like, hey, I'm gonna take everything. I'm gonna have it forever.
Yeah.
And like when you move from that and you're like just giving, that's when you start to realize a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about the takeaway or having everything for yourself, like,
Yeah.
and having all these like materialistic objects or the materialistic things. It's a matter of like giving, because like in life, that's all you can do. As like listen to my grandpa, it's like that's all you can do, just give.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that helped me too, like, you know, doing the house and, you know, having household contributions and all that, knowing your responsibilities. One thing that really helped me understand that is going back to my roots, like talking to my mom and dad about things, not just like assuming all this bullshit. And when you go back to your roots and figure out, well, why, mom and dad? Well, why do I have to do this? And you kind of like come to an age of understanding, like in your 20s, then things get a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, doing the things you do gets a lot easier. Doing it for a bigger purpose, like cleaning my mom and dad's house, like I'm doing it for them. I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for them. And when you're like just you're doing it for, it's not just you anymore. It's like there's so much, like there's people in your life that you care about, you know.
The small sacrifice of time you have to give to clean the house means a lot
to make them happy.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. And you know, I don't think that people, you know, get that. I think that's why people have a lot of bad relationships with their parents. Like they could be the parents could be bad people, but like a lot of people that I know, they're good. Their parents are good people. It's just like their kids think that like their kids just think a whole different dynamic of like what my mom and dad just want me to clean my house because, you know, I'm like their little slave because I'm their kid. You know, it's stupid. That's stupid. No, dude, they're sacrificing. You're sacrificing so much, but they sacrifice so much. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but you know, it kind of wraps up around why we do with what we do.
And speaking about wrapping up, I think we should wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Yeah.
Yep. You should wrap it up so you don't get STDs.
Hey, thanks for watching, guys. This is my ASMR podcast, and thanks for coming on the show, Grant, again for the second time.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Guys, Grant's back in Vegas for good.
Yeah, makes me happy.
Hit him up.
Don't hit me.
Don't hit me. All right, cut.
Yeah.